Hi there, Fleetwood owners. Today in your 2003 Fleetwood Discovery, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install Roadmaster's Brite-Lite non-combined to combined lighting relay module. Our Brite-Lite module is going to take non-combined lightings like we have on our motorhome here. You can see that our turn signals are separate from our brake lights. There's an assistant inside holding down the brake pedal now to illuminate these lights. And we can see that these are lit up. The issue with having separate lights like this is that oftentimes at your 7-way connector down at the back of your motorhome, the lighting's not going to work properly on whatever you're pulling behind it, because you'll have your left and right turn signals, but when you hit the brakes that signal that's sent back here is just illuminating these. And on your trailer, you get your brake lights through your turn signal wires. The left and the right turn signal wires also double as your left and right brake signal wires. So in order to get those outputs working properly on our 7-way, so that way when we hit the brakes, these lights will illuminate, but it's also going to send signals to both the left and right turn signals on our 7-way to illuminate the lights at the back of our trailer. We're now back here at our tail lights, and we've got a flat tow setup hooked up to it. And with the brake pedal being depressed in the motorhome, the light should come on here in the back using the diode wiring kit that we installed. Since we're not putting out brake signals on our turn signals, our independent left and right, we have no lights back here when the brakes are pressed. If I were to turn on our turn signals though, our turn signals do work properly. In order to get both turn signal and brake light functionality on your trailer or your towed vehicle if you're flat towing, like we are fixing here, then you'll want to install a module like this that will break out your brake signal circuit from your motorhome and send it down your independent left and right turn signal wires so we can have brake lights as well as turn signals. So we got our flat tow hooked up. Our assistant is pressing the brakes on the inside, and we can see the lights for the brakes on our motorhome are illuminated, as well as the lights here at the back of our vehicle. They're working on both sides. So our box is working as it's supposed to. It's taken the single brake signal circuit and split it up into two, going to our lights on each side down those respective turn signal wires for these. And this is what our module looks like when it's installed. It can really be placed just about anywhere on the vehicle, but I recommend putting it at the back near your 7-pole connector because it is wired in line between both your left and right turn signals going back to your 7-way connector. You'll also need to have a brake signal circuit wired up to this module, so you will need either quick splices or butt connectors as well as some additional wiring to be able to tap into your existing brake signal circuit on your vehicle and bring it over here to the module as well. Now that we've gone over some of the features of the module, why don't you follow along with me and we'll show you how to get this installed on your vehicle. We're now underneath our vehicle here, and what we're looking for is the harness that goes to our 7-way connector. So our 7-way's here at the back, so we just follow the loom around, and when we followed it around, it comes out right here. So what we're going to need to hook up our module is we're going to need to tap in line between our 7-ways connector left and right turn signal wires. Our left turn signal is going to be our yellow one, and our right's going to be our green one. This is common color for the wiring, but they can vary from manufacturer to manufacturer, so you do want to verify with your manufacturer to ensure these are the correct ones. A way to check to make sure you've got the right wire is to just turn on your turn signal and then just use a test light, hook one end to ground, the other end just poke into your wire and see if your test light is illuminating when the turn signal comes on. If it's mimicking on your test light what's going on with the turn signal, then you found the wire for that turn signal. Same thing with your other side, just swap on the other turn signal and check for that one. I've already found them and I've cut them in half. We've got it cut in half here so we can wire the module in line. But you're also going to need a brake signal wire, and this is typically not going to be found inside of your 7-way harness. The location of your brake signal circuit is going to vary depending upon vehicle to vehicle. One of the easiest ways to find it though is to just remove your taillight assembly or the bulb to access the connector for your taillight assembly, and then you can just test the wiring back there using your test light, having a friend or a pry bar or something hold down your brake pedal and see when it illuminates when the pedal's depressed, and then make sure the wire doesn't have power on it, doesn't illuminate your test light when the brake pedal is not being depressed. Once you've found that circuit, you'll then need to tap into it, and you can just use a quick splice or a butt connector to add a wire into it, and then we're going to need that. I've already tapped into our vehicle's brake signal wire here, and I've ran it down here. So here we have our module, and you can see we've got green and yellow because these again are the most common colors for your left and your right turn signal. We have the same thing here on the other side. Our red wire is for our brake signal circuit, so that's that blue wire that I had run down. And then we do have a ground wire that we'll need to attach to the chassis of our vehicle. They are labeled, so it's saying this side with the 2 wires is for our towed vehicle or for your trailer. So this is going towards our 7-way connector, and this is going to the rest of our vehicle from here. These 2 wires right here are the ones that go to our 7-way. These go to the rest of the vehicle, and then here's our brake signal. So I'm going to strip back all of these wires up here. These all come pre-stripped, and the wires come pre-tinned with solder as well, so they're ready to go to be crimped on. We've got all of our wires stripped back on our vehicle. Now we're going to start making our connections, and we're going to start on the towed vehicle side. So we just got these 2 here. I'm going to start with these 2 by taking butt connectors and crimping it onto this end. We're using blue heat shrink butt connectors to complete this, which you can get here at eTrailer.com. I highly recommend that you use heat shrink butt connectors if your module is going to be outside the vehicle like ours is here. That'll ensure that moisture doesn't get down in there and cause corrosion. So all this hard work you're doing won't be for naught. So we're just going to crimp onto there. We're going to do the same thing with our other green one. I like to get the towed vehicle side done first so I don't accidentally mix up my wires, since it is the same color on the opposite side. Just get these 2 out of the way real fast, and then it kind of helps prevent yourself from accidentally making a mistake. So we're going to take these and crimp it on. We're just matching the colors since ours are the same, with the green being the right turn and the yellow being the left turn. So we crimp that one onto there, and we'll crimp our yellow one onto the yellow wire going towards our 7-way connector. Now that we've got our 7-way connector side all completed, we can start on our vehicle side. So pretty much just like we did on the 7-way side, we're going to take the 3 wires that we've got here, and we're going to put heat shrink butt connectors on those. Our white wire is going to get a ring terminal, so we can do that at the end there. So we're just going to slide these on here and then crimp these on, get all these prepared. So now we're going to hook these to the other side of our wires. This is the other end that we had cut from our 7-way, but this is going towards the rest of the vehicle now. So we're just going to crimp these together. We can hook our red wire to our brake signal circuit, which is the blue wire that we had run up. So we just bring this guy over here and we'll slide those together and crimp them together. Now we'll take our ground wire and we're going to put a ring terminal on it. Ring terminals don't come included, so you will need those as well, but we have those at eTrailer here, so you can add one to your cart when you get your Brite-Lite. On our vehicle, we've got a screw right here that we're going to remove and just reattach it and use that as ground. And you can pretty much use any stud that's going into the frame as long as you got a ring terminal big enough to slide over it. So we're not going to be using these because obviously our ring terminal is not going to fit over the stud, but this one here is going to be a perfect size, so we'll take this one out. If you don't have any studs or bolts nearby where you're going to be placing your module, you can also just use a self-tapping screw and run it into the frame. You can get self-tapping screws here at eTrailer or from your local hardware store. Just make sure you choose an appropriate sized ring terminal and self-tapping screw so they work together. And I'm going to twist the wire up like this. Now, I always recommend that you test everything out before you start making things permanent. So before we affix our module, zip tie up our wires, and shrink down all of our butt connectors, we're going to go back and check out our vehicle and make sure that it's working properly. Once you've verified that your left turn, right turn, and tail lamps work in addition to your brake lamps here, then all your lighting signals are working properly, we can go back, shrink down those butt connectors, zip tie up any loose wiring, get that module fixed up. I went ahead and pulled off the adhesive backing and fixed the module. Whatever surface you're planning on putting it on, a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a cotton swab or towel can help ensure that it affixes better to the surface. And then I use some zip ties to clean up our wiring, make sure it's all nice and neat and nothing's going to hang down. If you need some zip ties, you can get those here at eTrailer.com. And that completes our installation of Roadmaster's Brite-Lite non-combined to combined lighting relay module on your 2003 Fleetwood Discovery.